Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We are here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. My name is Eric Smith, co-host of the Colts Cast. Alongside me, as always, I have co-host Jamal Lawrence here.
Yo, Colts Nation, what's up?
Yo, some of y'all were asking about the new swag. I'm starting to. I got the new office set up. It's all coming together. It'll take some time, but if you're on YouTube right now, you can see that the background has changed a little. But I just want to say, to start out with, I really appreciate the kind words from everyone who supported us. It really feels good that we're bringing great content to you all. So thank you, Colts Nation, for the kind words.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Now let's talk Colts. Shane Steichen has wasted no time in pursuing his coaching staff in his new role. Jim Bob Cooter, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone is walling about his name. Gotta love it. I'm sure he's embraced that by now. Former passing game coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2022, consultant in 2021 for the Eagles, running back coach for the Jets, offensive coordinator for the Lions in 2016 and 2018. The list goes on and on. He's got some experience, a substantial amount, I would say, on the offensive side of the ball. Jamal, how are we feeling about this hire?
I'm feeling overall pretty good about the hire, and I'm glad to see that Shane has kind of started to get the wheels moving early. Because I wanted to bring up a quick quote for you, Eric. This comes from a great coach by the name of, you may have heard of him once or twice in your life, Bill Parcells. Ring a bell? Yeah, I think so.
Not at all.
No? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you can just look him up. He's in the top 10 greatest coaches of all time. But, for those of y'all who don't know. But no, he actually had an interesting quote. And I like when I see quotes like this because it kind of ties into what's going on right now for us. The quote is, they want you to cook dinner. At least they should let you shop for the groceries. They want you to cook dinner. At least they should let you shop for the groceries. Let's think about that for a second.
No, it's awesome.
Hey, so my man, so y'all know, all of Colts Nation, y'all know all I've talked about day in and day out is how Jim has kept his hands in the pot for too long. I won't go out on a limb here and say that Bill Parcells is probably talking about, you know who I'm going to mention, Eric. Who's that owner down in Dallas?
Who's that?
You know who I'm talking about. That old guy, Jerry Jones. That's who they was talking about with that. And I talked about it all season long. Jim Irsay is starting to get into that Jerry Jones style where he always has to have his hand in the pot. So I really like that this quote is starting to resonate with me based off what we're seeing with Shane. And you may ask, well, why? He's only done one thing since he's been here. Well, you know what? I still feel the exact same way about Chris Ballard as I've always felt. And all y'all should know that by now. But what I like is I feel that now he's back against the wall. He's done a little bit of turn of the tides. I would like to say that he convinced Jim Irsay to go after Shane Steichen. Shane said in his press conference, next couple of days, he's going to start having these conversations with these coaches. And my man wasted no time. First thing he does is go out and get Jim Bob Cooter. And kind of like you went through his resume, Lions, he was an OC, Jets running back coach, Eagles consultant, the Jags, he was their passing game coordinator. These are all good things I like to see. The offensive coordinator role typically for us is going to include play calling. Shane made it pretty clear that he's going to be the play caller. And I want to mention, too, I forgot to tell you that, I'll get to that part and talk about the Colts. But Shane already said he's going to be the play caller. So that's sealed out the box for us. So you ask yourself, what will Jim Bob do for us? He's going to be Steichen's right-hand man. I think he's going to come up with game plans, schemes, help with the playbooks, the roster. We already know he's going to be another consultant for him. He's going to be the one breaking down this film for the offensive coaches. He's going to take this role and run with it. It's not always about being that play caller when you are the offensive coordinator. So I think this is a primetime spot. And especially as a rookie head coach, I would like to think of our rookie head coach. I would want the reins too to make it all like me. If this is my deal, I want to do what's most important. That is going to be the play calling. But you have somebody in your back pocket who's been around the block a few times. Now, we go back to him being the Lions OC. Of course, he was there during the time when Matt Stafford was there. I think 2016, 2017 season, they did really well. But he ended up leaving, of course, because Matt Patricia came over in 2018, big defensive mind, and they just weren't working on the same thing. So he kind of scooted out of there. With the Jets, he only had a 1-year tenure with them. With the Eagles, though, it consulted in 2021. And I like that. You may ask why it's only 1 year, etc. Because he was around a lot of playmakers. He was around a lot of hungry coaches. I know a lot of Colts fans feel a certain way about Sirianni, especially after all his "this is for Frank" jazz and hoopla that he did at the Eagles and Colts game that they barely won. Neither here nor there. But he's been around success with some of these squads, especially like I said with the Eagles. He's seen the ins and outs of kind of what their day-to-day looks like. And then you look at what he's done in Jacksonville. And of course, I know he didn't have all the reins with Trevor Lawrence, but he was the passing game coordinator. I mean, he helped with game planning and scheming. So I'm not going to give him full credit to say that he took Trevor Lawrence under his wing, because there is a quarterbacks coach who did that. But I say that because he's been around some pretty good minds in football. So I kind of like that we're going to have him come in and be the right-hand man and kind of Steichen's backup guy, that whenever he may not feel too hot about something, I'm sure he's going to go directly to him. Or he's going to be the person he's just always in his ear saying, hey, this is what we can maybe improve on. Here's some coaches that I know. Here's some players that development that is going better than what other, because we know as the head coach, you already have your hands full. I mean, Steichen can't do it all. He really can't. And I embrace the fact that he wants to do it all as a rookie head coach, because I'm sure he knows that it's a lot. But the reality of it is he can't be the one-stop shop. He has to have someone in his corner. And I think he's picking someone who he can trust in his corner. And that would be Jim Bob.
Yeah, I would have to say I like this hire too. He's had experience as OC in the past. We like that. Steichen will be calling the plays. That's fine. Cooter's still going to do a lot, like you said, play design, the game strategy, preparations, things like that. Help us fix our O-line, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
That's going to be really important. Maybe a different protection plan, protection scheme, things like that that fits our offense better. Calling audibles, things like that. Questions that need answers.
Mm-hmm.
So. But I feel like in Jacksonville, I mean, you're talking about Trevor Lawrence. I feel like Trevor Lawrence gets a lot of credit for taking that next step up in his second year. And he did. I mean, he played like the number 1 overall pick he should have been. He looked phenomenal. Like, kind of wish we had that guy. But
God, me too.
He looked like that guy this past season. I mean, it's crazy what a good coach can do to your franchise. Doug Peterson, Press Taylor, Jim Bob Cooter, and that whole offensive staff should feel great about what they did for that offense last year. Got to the divisional round. I mean, that's something we've been salivating for.
Oh yeah.
Great scheme and design, just unlock that potential. That's what I really feel like, because in Jacksonville, I do think they used a lot of 12 personnel against us, and just in general, threat of that passing game with talented pass catching tight ends like Evan Ingram out there. But also the running game, since they have bigger bodies to block, 12 personnel, you got 2 tight ends, 1 running back. And it keeps the defenses on their toes. Their versatility, you don't know what's coming next, especially with the really good, players on your offense. I say all this with the hope of Jim Bob Cooter designing some packages where we can have 2 tight end sets. I think we've talked about that before on previous episodes, like how we would like to see more Jelani Woods, maybe with Mo Alley Cox on the other side of the line, maybe some Colin Granson, add some spice to the offense, give Andrew Ogletree a chance. I would love to see it. I think our running game would benefit from it, but we'll see what Shane Steichen wants to do. He's probably going to employ a variety of packages down there. That's how they were in Philly, pretty diverse. And then I think the real question is like, what can he do with our future quarterback that I hope we're drafting? I think we put out a trade scenario for Lamar Jackson. What was it, yesterday?
Yeah.
Ooh, that got a lot of engagement, a lot of comments.
Yeah.
I just want to say, guys, we got to be open-minded. You can have an opinion, you can have a strong opinion, but you shouldn't be coming at your fellow fans just because they want a player or they don't. So we were looking over that. That it was pretty dead even. I think most were no, rather take the rookie quarterback. I would venture to say that I'm okay with that too. But anyway, just, like you said, he's worked with Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence. But let's be honest here. Come on, Jamal. Peyton Manning was Peyton Manning before Jim Bob Cooter got there.
Yes, sir.
Right? So, All right. So I'm not gonna give him any of that. He
Yes,
wasn't
sir.
all he was an offensive assistant in Denver when Peyton had that MVP year, but they got stomped out by the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Y'all remember that Super Bowl? Matthew Stafford, I'll give him that one. He was OC then. Matthew Stafford was having good years then. I think even Calvin Johnson was gone and Stafford was still performing well. So they were productive then. I'll give him Detroit. Trevor Lawrence, he was only there for 1 year as a passing game coordinator. You know, how much success do we give credit to Cooter is debatable here. You know, I'm sure he helped out, but there's just a lot of hands in that pot that make the gears move. So I still think it's a good hire. Don't get me wrong. It's just not a slam dunk to me. It's a good situation for the next QB nonetheless. He's got the experience, so I'm happy. And you know, I don't like hiring coaching staff with no experience. I think we ran through that this past season, but Brian Johnson, the QB coach for the Eagles, I really wanted. But so did everyone else because he got multiple OC interviews, but I think he's going to stay with the Eagles and just replace Shane Steichen there. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, man, you spelled that out perfectly, and I kind of like what you did there when you talked about the highlights there because in reality, what it sounded like to me was he was in the right place at the right time for pretty much each team he was at. Which good for him. That's what you know as a coach, that's what you want in your career. You want to be at the right place at the right time because that's how you get success. So I do think it'll be very interesting to see how he can come in and implement some of the things he's learned for some of these coaches into this Colts offense. Because looking at it holistically speaking, I mean, we don't expect a big turnaround year one. At least I don't. And I would think it'll be fair
some fans really think like we can just. I mean, we draft some players, get the right coaching staff in, and we're playoff contenders this year. I don't know.
Well, you know what, man? I don't know either. It scares me when people jump the gun that much. I do think we have the potential because we had the potential not this last season, but the season before last. But there's always just these small little plagues that come around, injuries, playing away games in Jacksonville, these small little things that matter. I don't know. I mean, they just seem to plague us. But you know, it's so funny you mentioned that because I was watching TV today, and across the bottom of the ticker, you know what came up? It said Super Bowl odds for this upcoming year. I was watching the team scroll across, started at number 1 for the odds, maybe plus 200, plus 300. And I'm like, all right, let's see what the Colts are. I'm watching. I'm like, oh, look at that. 15 there are 14. There we go. Nope. Denver Broncos. I said, oh, look at that. They got a new coach. They think the Denver Broncos are going to elevate to number 14 spot.
Sean Payton.
After Sean Payton gets there, he still has to control Russell Wilson. I said, there ain't no way. Colts aren't number 15 or 16 or 17. So I'm just watching. I'm watching. Dog. Guess what the Colts were?
28.
30th.
No way.
Only to be followed behind the Cardinals and the Texans. So you can see right now, plus 10,000. Plus 10,000 to win Super Bowl. Now, do I think the Colts are a Super Bowl championship team, caliber team? No, not right now. However, I just find it so interesting and funny that we have a rookie head coach in Shane Steichen, just played in the Super Bowl. He has some, have some prestige to his name now. But we look at a team like the Broncos, who had arguably just as bad an offense as us, if not worse. They pick up Sean Payton, and they think that Sean's going to flip this from 0 to 100. So I just found that very interesting. Plus 10,000.
If they can flick Russell Wilson back to the most efficient quarterback in the NFL, maybe.
Yeah.
But plus 10,000 odds, where can you find that at?
DraftKings.
Our sponsor, DraftKings. NBA fans, it's time to bring hoops action back to the palm of your hands with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. And if it doesn't hit, you'll get a free bet back. So, can't really same-game parlay these Super Bowl odds. But plus 10,000?
I mean, sprinkle a little change on there.
32 NFL teams, anything can happen, right?
Yes. Especially, I'm gonna tell you why anything can happen. Because we just took another load off for our team. Chris Strouser is officially gone. Those you may be asking who Chris Strouser is, you may be wondering, because a lot of people are wondering, because the O-line wasn't there all this season either. So you may not know who he is. But in case you're wondering, he was our offensive line coach. Guess where he is? Bye-bye. Division rivals, Houston Texans.
Can't
Bye-bye.
bet on that.
Can't bet
But
on that.
NBA action. Download the app now and sign up with code TPPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, with code TPPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes for details. Looks like you already want to talk about Chris Strouser.
Yeah, sorry, I was stealing your thunder there, man. I got too excited.
Houston Texans took him.
Yeah.
It seems like once you're established in the NFL, like if you get fired, unless you're just absolutely horrible, or I mean, he didn't even get fired. It just seems like you can make a lateral move wherever. Like
33 years.
It doesn't seem like you'll be out of a job as long as you've gotten established, like you've done something, you've got experience, you'll find a job somewhere. So I thought that was interesting that he's going to a divisional rival.
Yeah, usually, we don't like to give up divisional play. A lot of times you see players get traded. We don't want to give them up to the division. But someone like Chris Strouser, he can go to a division rival. He can stink it up for the Texans. And I'm not going to say that it's all his fault, but as the coach of the position, you got to take blame, especially when your players aren't performing. When you have the highest paid guard in the league, a great first round draft pick, and a center, and you couldn't figure out for the rest of the linemen. We take a look here. Just to make fun of the Colts plus 10,000 odds, I wrote here that he had a 10,000% chance of a negative 10,000% chance of remaining in Indy this year, or a positive 10,000 chance, however you want to slice it. I guess the way to make it negative. Yeah, he wasn't going to stay in Indy. Kind of reviewing back on sacks for us. 2018 we allowed 18. 2019 we allowed 32. 2020 dropped back down to 21. 2021 we allowed 32, and then 2022 we allowed 60. PFF, Pro Football Focus, had us coming in at the number 10 ranked O-line coming into the 2022 season. Boy, was that a mistake. I can understand why they would have said that based off what we did in 2021, but man, straight shambles. We felt the loss of every. We haven't been the same since Costanzo left. Once he was gone, it started going downhill, and it's only trickled to go down even more. And of course, I know that we had Raymond come in this year, the Matt Pryor deal, Fries. We had everybody under the sun get a chance to play offensive line except for me and you, Eric. But I don't know. I don't know. There's a few names who have been ringing some bells here for the Colts who could possibly be coming in. Of course, I would expect Shane Steichen to keep it home, but Chris Strouser, I'm kind of glad he's gone. Nothing against him, but everything against him. I like to see fresh. Like at this point, we got to see something fresh. I'm so tired of seeing the same names recycled through, or just retaining people who haven't been able to perform at that position level. Just because, again, I know the players are the ones who are out there. But your job as the coach is to motivate them and to put the best person forward. And if you can't get the best person forward, then you're not the man for the job.
Yeah, they really. I mean, he had to have thought Matt Pryor was the one, right?
Right.
So
to ride him
Pryor
like a bus route?
got so many chances.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just playing offensive line shuffle at that point. But yeah, Chris Strouser's out. We'll see who comes in. I think there's a lead candidate.
Roy Isfan, from the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think he is the one. I'm not going to go into too much detail with him just because he hasn't been confirmed yet, so I don't want to go down a huge rabbit hole. But I mean, besides his 3-year stint in Philly from 19 to 22, he spent 30 years in the college game, so he has a lot of experience on the college level. Which developmental purposes, I do think that's beneficial because you're getting players from every single walk of life to come in there, and you're having to fine tune them to make them better to try to get them to the next level. But we'll discuss more about someone, either him or whoever gets it, once that hire is made known.
Yeah, absolutely. Bubba Ventrone, we haven't even touched on him.
Oh yeah,
bye, special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
Went to Cleveland, to the Cleveland Browns. So, we may see him again in the playoffs or something. I felt like this was coming. Like, this wasn't a big surprise to me. He got passed up for the interim head coach, which I wouldn't be satisfied either. Yeah, Jeff Saturday come in, and he was your boss from that point forward. Yeah, maybe he's getting more money in Cleveland. Who knows?
I know what it is.
Well, what is it?
He's getting the O-line job, and he's going to get assistant head coach job.
That is
So
true.
He's getting his chance to shine a little bit.
That is a better title. So he's getting a better title, most likely more money. He was a great special teams coordinator. I can't lie, but like, we lost our kicker week 1, brought in Chase McLaughlin, and he turned it up for us. Like, he had a pretty good year. Lost Rigoberto Sanchez, our punter. Matt Hawk. Still don't think he's a great punter, but we got it done.
Oh yeah,
on special teams before the season started. Like, Rigoberto Sanchez running gassers and tore his Achilles. That sucks. But he still got it done. But like you just said 5 minutes ago, Jamal, got to start fresh, right?
Got to.
Even the impact of the special teams, it seems like it wasn't felt in our win-loss record. We had one of the better special teams units, 4-12-1.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like that, has very little impact, in my opinion. I don't want to say that in a negative way, but our real issues were on the offensive side of the ball, the offensive side of the coaching staff. I mean, the head coach itself, the list goes on. But Bubba Ventrone will be missed. I really appreciate what he did here in Indianapolis, and I hope he succeeds over there in Cleveland.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just going to touch exactly on what you said. I hate to see him leave, but I completely understand it. I think it was pretty clear that there was no guarantee we would have kept him anyway. But, Rich Gosselin, 50 years of NFL coverage, Hall of Fame voter. I was looking at his website. He had us ranked 8th overall last season for special teams. 8th overall. It's freaking phenomenal. And in case people forgot, we did lead the league in kickoff returns at 27.8 yards a return. The league average was 22.85. That's 5 extra yards. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but guys, 5 extra yards, when you need to get in field goal range at the end of the game, when you got a little time left, that 5 yards is a make or break. And like you said, Eric, it sucks that it couldn't translate and transition over into the offense because offense was so bad.
Yeah. Even if they would have gotten takeaways, like, what would we have done with that?
Oh, exactly. Sit right there. 3 and out easily. Yep. So I think it's safe to say that it was probably pretty mutual. I'm sure Bubba wanted to go ahead and take his talent elsewhere. And good for him. I like to see someone who helped us a lot go on and do bigger and better things. So I'm excited for him, but it does stink to have him go. But it's what it is.
Yep. Then we brought in Tom Manning, tight ends coach.
Yeah, former tight ends coach. Yeah, he's a coach for us back in 2018.
Yeah,
he led Eric Ebron to his career high 13 receiving touchdowns that year. I know that's a name that people probably forgot about. He left us and went to the Steelers, right? I think it was. He scooted on out, but Ebron was a dog when we had him. I liked him.
So Jelani Woods,
that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Because Jelani's just a lot bigger than Eric Ebron, just a lot bit. So
we'll see.
Yeah.
Jim Bob Cooter, I will say, one negative I did see about him, like, I'm happy he came from the passing game, and that's where most of the experience is. I said he was the running backs coach for the Jets.
Yeah.
Well, I started looking into when he was OC of the Lions and how good their rushing attack was. Yikes. Bottom half ranked rushing offense all 3 seasons he was there, and 2 of them were in the bottom, 3 teams. So 30th, 31st, 32nd.
Ooh.
So I would like Cooter not to mess up our rushing game somehow. That's been the Colts' claim to fame for some time now. But I did want to mention that. That was some time ago. But
people don't forget.
Yeah. And I had to do my research on Jim Bob Cooter. I had to see what he's going to bring to the table. And the rushing game, I want him to at least leave it be. Like, it needs to stay as good as it was. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I did not know that. And I like to know those negative stats. And I want all of Colts Nations who's listened to know those negative stats, because we don't want to just get on here and glorify everybody. We don't want everyone to seem like
Yeah.
they're God's greatest gift to this earth, because that's not the truth. That's not the truth. So I'm glad you said that, because I don't want his hands near JT, near any part of the running playbook. Nothing.
Well, I mean, he's got to be. He's going to be orchestrating the offense.
He can
to
give
an
him a
extent.
massage. And that's about it.
Oh,
I don't want him doing anything else.
Our offensive coordinator, Jim Bob Cooter. Yeah. You know who else left that we forgot to mention?
Oh, who's that?
You remember this guy named Parks Frazier?
Sounds familiar.
Picked up by Frank Wright. He's their passing game coordinator now.
Down for the Panthers now. Yeah. Some changes. It's going to be exciting to see. I mean, I'm not mad about that one. You know, we saw that vanilla offense.
I don't think anybody was shedding a tear over that one, but you know, good luck to Parks Frazier. I mean, he got his time to call plays here in Indianapolis in a bad situation. He didn't make it better, but you know, he got that experience, and Frank Wright really likes him. We'll see what he does over there.
Yeah.
With Carolina, because their passing game is abysmal. At least it was last year. So we'll see.
I just always feel like when you're in a position like how he was for us, man, listen, you gotta make mistakes and ask for forgiveness later. You know what I'm saying? Don't play conservative, don't play it safe. Hey, just go crazy and then be like, hey, I'm sorry, Jim, but I was just trying to win the game. What's Jim
honestly,
say? All right,
look, we're at the number 4 pick.
Exactly.
Yo, whatever they did it right.
You're right. You're right.
Yo, they lost to the Texans at home. Like, I love it. Like,
my man Lovey still tried to lose, and there was like, nah, we got you, dog. We gonna lose it.
A Bears legend. My goodness. So we're at the number 4 pick. Guess what, guys? We're gonna talk some draft next episode.
Yeah, we got to.
Some NFL draft, maybe some QB.
Maybe.
You'll see in a few days, guys. It's gonna be a really good episode.
Oh yeah.
And I hope you guys tuned in or will tune in. And I hope you guys really like this episode. But that's gonna be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back in a few days to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Yeah, take care. Enjoy the weekend.